Well, a small but powerful group this morning, I see. This afternoon, I see. 3 o'clock, right? Well, good to have you all here today for the June Open Forum. This is a town hall meeting, actually, which is our quarterly meeting. And if you might not be able to tell, but I am stalling just a little bit because Grand Lakes Town Hall meeting was at 2, and Ross and Tony Lavoti are supposed to be here as well. After that meeting, Amanda just walked in, so we're glad. So I do have them at the end of the presentation, and hopefully they're going to make it here on time. But before we get to them, I'll let you know that as always, if you'd like to watch the video, this is being videotaped. So the video is always available, especially for our residents who might be away or up north right now. And the slides are available too on the neighborhood website. We do ask at the end, when I come up with questions, Kim will come up with the microphone so that we can hear you on the video. And here comes Ross. Perfect, and Terry, yay. I was a little nervous. So we're actually going to start off our presentation today with a slide presentation by Jessica Brinkert. Jessica actually is not here at all. I think she's off today. So she developed a wonderful presentation, and we're going to have you listen. She's presenting on videotape, and we'll go through those slides. And then after that, I'll come back up and introduce our next speaker. So we'll get started with Kim's going to get Jessica going for me, right? Okay.
Good afternoon. When I took on this role, I committed to dedicating myself to Maureen's Park and to you, our residents, to help move the needle for successful aging. I also committed to providing these updates at each town hall. As I am unable to be there today in person, I wanted to shoot the short video to highlight progress in several areas. First, I want to start with a reflection on what successful aging means. Successful aging is where our health span meets our lifespan. We want to not only live longer, but also enjoy a higher quality of life throughout those years. When you wake up in the morning, even before you get out of bed, and you think to yourself, how do I feel? We want you to be able to say good or great more often than you think badly or poor. Successful aging is when your health span meets your lifespan. We know that there are 3 main components to a healthy aging strategy: avoiding and treating disease and disability, optimizing high cognitive and physical function, and engagement with life. The star in the middle is where successful aging lies. Successful aging is a joint effort. We want to change the normal aging line, which historically shows that as we age, we slowly decline. And we want to lift it up to extend our health span for longer. We can do this by adopting a health-focused lifestyle. The choices you make about physical activity, learning, social connections, purpose, stress management, and nutrition are essential for a positive aging experience. By adopting a health-focused lifestyle, you can extend your healthy years. Our role is to provide you with the knowledge, simple choices, and strong programs to support your healthy aging journey. Ultimately, it is up to you to engage and participate in these activities and opportunities. I encourage you to make the choice to engage in ways that suit you best, and we're here to help with that. My goal is to help you achieve a life where your health span matches your lifespan, bringing the vision of successful aging to reality. This leads me to the 2 exciting updates to share with you today. First and foremost, I have mentioned in other forums that the team has been diligently working on how we can enhance the annual wellness assessments, which will be your core foundational block to your personalized successful aging plan. We have been actively working on developing, with your input, a personalized successful aging plan that helps you to work towards your goals. As I mentioned, a launching pad for this plan is our current annual health and wellness assessments. These assessments are still actively going on all 3 campuses and are tremendously valuable. After you take your annual wellness assessment, you are sent a separate Qualtrics survey asking about your experience and what you have found the most value in, and if there's anything we can do to enhance it or improve upon it. So please take the time to fill out this survey. We have been vetting on the back end what technologies can come alongside our annual wellness assessments to enhance its value for our residents. We don't want your annual assessment to be a one and done situation. It needs to be a living, breathing roadmap personalized to your goals that you can access at any time. We have narrowed the list down and identified 4 different systems that can help track and support your personalized successful aging plan. I look forward to you experiencing the benefits of these in the near future. In the Successful Aging Department's early formation, we concentrated on developing goals and linkages between Morings Park's significant facilities and our existing programs. We are now prepared to take the next step to craft an exciting and persuasive initiative for current and future residents. The overarching goal is to build residents' interest in and knowledge of how and why creating their effective personal successful aging plan can make their future a healthier and happier time. With the help of a small resident task force with residents represented from each campus, we will begin co-creating and developing a comprehensive, successful aging health literacy program, identifying reliable health information sources, and creating a multi-dimensional educational approach. Our goals are threefold. We want to empower our residents with successful aging literacy. We want to equip our residents with the skills to locate, comprehend, and utilize health information and services. And we want to enable informed decision-making and proactive steps for successful aging. We look forward to launching this initiative in November of this year. In closing, I want to express how excited I am about the future and our ongoing journey towards successful aging. The progress we've made so far is just the beginning, and I look forward to the innovative initiatives and opportunities ahead. Let's continue to support one another and embrace the journey of successful aging together. I can't wait to be with you in person next time. Thank you.
Well, always exciting to hear about successful aging, and we miss Jessica when she's not here. We'll look forward to seeing her again, but I think that was a nice way for her to give us an update on the exciting things her department is bringing forth in the future. Next, I would like to introduce someone who you may not have met before. Joe Neuenfeld is also known as, he told me, Big Joe, when I asked him how to pronounce his last name, because I don't say it very often. But Joe is the project manager. He works for our IT department, and you receive memos and constant contacts from us frequently telling you that some systems may be down and not working. And I asked Joe to come today to kind of give you an update on the work that's being done in IT from his perspective with the project that he's overseeing. So thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Celeste. Again, Joe Neuenfeld. I work in the IT department. Thank you. All right, I'll get there. Anyway, IT department. I've been here about 3 years. It's been a great ride. I really, really enjoy being here. So, thank you for letting me be part of this. But Celeste was mentioning there, the many projects that we have going on. But we're wrapping up one project right now that we're really proud of, and that how well it went. And I just wanted you guys to be aware of it. It's called what? And I'm doing this wrong. Stu, the IT guy, he's not getting it right. Sure, that's embarrassing. Let me speak to it anyways, why we're working on the technical difficulties. It's the Morgan's Park Gray Oaks, we call it Gray Oaks infrastructure. Oh, here comes Felix, actually the guy that knows what's going on, everybody, right? So anyways, what it is we're working on, no, that's not it. We're working on the actual infrastructure. Think about it right here. The actual physical backbone. There we go. What we're doing. Here, the first thing talked about up here is replacing the backbone that all the Gray Oaks IT traffic uses. Think about your backbone of your body. It's the hub. It's everything that focuses right down that path. So we're improving it. We're making, yep, and I am standing in someone's way, sorry. And we're improving it. We're actually finished it up. If you look, I got a date down there, at the very bottom. We're supposed to be finishing it up on Friday. Well, we're already done with it. We finished it up. And we're very proud of what we did. So we replaced the hardware with what we call the backbone or core. Then you might think about, there also infrastructure. See that piece of hardware over there in the picture? Each building has its own infrastructure that it runs through, all the information runs. Those in each building is connected to that main core. We replaced them without any interruptions. Well, there were some interruptions, but it was late at night. And Felix's team works late into the night doing a lot of these updates just so you're not interrupted or our services to you are not interrupted. So we're really proud of the way it went. It was all done, and some of the benefits that we're going to have on there, there's going to be faster, more reliable, more consistent user experience. So it's going to be up and more available. So everything's going to work better. And timing, we started back in April with the purchase of all this, and then we're planning all that new hardware is supposed to be done by this Friday. Well, we finished it early this week, so we're very happy with that. So. Again, there's a lot of things going on. I would love to stand up here being an IT guy. I would love to stay up here and tell you about everything that's going on. But for the sake of everybody else, not today, for the sake of everybody else's stuff, this is the one thing that I wanted everybody to be aware of. Is there any questions I can answer regarding this? I know it's an exciting topic for me, but maybe not you guys. All right, well, thank you guys very much.
Thank you, Joe. Always good to know what's going on behind the scenes, right? And now I will introduce Becky to give you a campus life update.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hey. All right, in July, here are our upcoming outings. Miramar Outlets on Tuesday, July 9th. Forever Fior Tea Lounge, Thursday, July 11th. And pardon my French, Bicyclette Cook Shop, Tuesday, July 23rd. If you're interested in going on one of those outings, please contact Bella. You can either give her a call or email her to reserve your spot. And then Magic Show Dinner. So Magic with Alex, he will be here on Friday, July 19th from 5 to 7 during dinner. So please RSVP through Resi or contact Dining Services. Alex will do a magic show, and he'll also do come to your table and do a little bit of a magic. So that should be fun. And then in July, our cocktail reception will be Thursday, July 25th from 5 to 6:30. Glowing in white, we will have a white theme. And if you are interested, contact Bella or by phone or email. And our music that night will be by the Ricky Howard Duo. And that's it. Next, we have Amanda.
Good afternoon. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Amanda Addison, the Resident Support Specialist here. So today I just wanted to give an overview of what my role is here and how I can support you now or even in the future. So a big part of what I do is I meet with residents and help you identify and get connected to any supportive resources that we have here within our community or even Moorings Park community or even the Naples community. So maybe you're experiencing a physical change. Well, let's talk about the different types of physical therapy. Or maybe there are certain aspects of your day-to-day routine that are becoming more difficult or challenging. So let's talk about our different types of home health services. Or maybe there's a new diagnosis that you've recently experienced and you'd like to know how we can support you through that. So any service like that, please give me a call. I'd be happy to meet with you and listen to what you're experiencing or maybe in the future, and we can get you connected through there. I also help our residents guide through our continuum of care. So if you'd ever like to learn more about your assisted living here or what even the Chateau offers for long-term care or skilled rehab, please let me know. I really like to meet with residents in advance if a higher level of care is ever something that could possibly be in your future, so we can work with you ahead of time and make sure that, you know, if a transition is something you'd like, we can work through that step by step. Or also the opposite. If you say to me, I want to age in place successfully, well, we can help you with that too. All right. I was just at Grand Lake and not one person was wearing a pendant. So, is anyone wearing your pendant here? All right, we're going to work on that. We're going to work on that. But does everybody know where your pool cord is in your apartment? Okay, great. So, anytime you have a medical emergency, please press your pendant or pull your pull cord and your rover will help come support you. So I will actually follow up with you after that. So the reason for that is to check in with you. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Is this incident becoming something routine? Do we need to do a home safety evaluation, or have you talked to your doctor about this? So it's a good way to keep in touch with you to see how we can best support you with whatever you're going through at that time. If you do, hospitalization support. So if you ever have a medical incident where you end up in the hospital, please let your Gray Oaks team or give me a call directly know. I know sometimes people are at a medical appointment and they go directly out, or maybe something happens off campus, but I will work with your case manager at the hospital and contact you, your spouse, or even a family member to make sure that your needs are met for whenever you come home. So whether that's extra help in the home or getting you to the Chateau for that rehab stay, I want to be able to support you through that. So please let myself or somebody from your Gray Oaks team know. Same with planned surgery. So if you're having an upcoming planned surgery, maybe a knee, hip, or shoulder, please give me a call, let me know. I'll place you on my calendar, but I'd like to just let you know what supportive resources we have for that. You know, we have the outpatient here, we have home health, they can come to you, or even maybe the Chateau needs to be utilized. Sometimes residents need support getting to and from a planned surgery, or even bringing some extra, like a home health aide in the home while you're recovering. So please let me know. Even if you don't need any of that, still let me know, because it's nice to be able to check in with you and make sure that everything went okay. I do work really closely with your interdisciplinary team here, Celeste, and all of the team that is here. I work very closely with them, and also our concierge physicians. I meet with the doctors every Friday morning, and also I talk with them throughout the week quite often. So sometimes I'm calling you on behalf of them. Maybe there's something that they feel we could help you with. So sometimes I'm calling on behalf of your doctors as well. We also have a caregiver support group here, so it is actually downstairs in the conference room. It is the first Friday of every month at 11. This month we did have to make a date change, so it is July 19th at 11 a.m. But it is a confidential group for anyone here that's caring for a loved one. So any diagnoses, please come and join us. It is a confidential group, so nothing is shared outside of that group. And I do also know that maybe a group is not everyone's cup of tea, so if you'd ever like any one-on-one caregiver support, please let me know. And I actually have an office right next to the physician's clinic downstairs, but I'm always happy to come to your apartment, so please just give me a call or an email, and I'd be happy to meet you at your convenience. Thank you. All right, here's Jessie.
Hello, everyone. It's good to see everyone again. I miss everyone. I work with close team with the director of ministry, which is Matt Agnew, and it's a blessing to come back and share with you all the updates that we have coming up this summer. We're going to have a 10-week sermon series beginning Memorial Day weekend, and it's called Summer in the Psalms. That's going to be amazing, 10 weeks. We're also going to have coming this fall, we're going to be seeing the movie The Chosen. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but it's a very powerful, positive movie. Also, I wanted to go over briefly that we are continuing to have our Sunday service is non-denominational. Every Sunday at 11 a.m., everyone is welcome. On July and September, we will continue having our Episcopal services and our Shabbat services. We also having, right now, we're still continuing the Catholic Mass. I love our Bauer Chapel. It's non-denominational. Everyone is welcome. I also wanted to share with you that our Department of Ministry, any transitioning that you might want to share with us and speak to us about, that we can help you through any changes, that we can help you connect. With any other department, we are also here. We don't only work just with the ministry. I know a lot of times we see ministry, okay, that's the spiritual area, but we got to make sure that we take care of your mind, your body, and your soul. And if there's any other connection besides the spiritual area, we are here to help you through any transition that we can, okay? So I hope you have a very blessed summer. Hope to see you again soon.
Thank you to everyone. A special little shout out to our ministry department. Jessie didn't mention it, but I know that she and Matthew also are strong supporters of our residents in Oakstone and Mangrove as well. And so they have scheduled services up there and visitation as well. So all residents are included, which we appreciate, no matter what their background or faith. I'm assuming the movie is going to be on campus, or is it an outing? Okay, that'll be great. Well, I'm going to give you just a few detail updates, and then I'll be turning it over to Ross for an overall update about Moorings Park Institute, and Tony Lavodi as well from a dining perspective. I wanted to start off to let you know that unfortunately Louis Al had another commitment this afternoon, so he asked me to remind you that we are having a bocce event on Wednesday, July 3rd. It'll be, I guess, not only a patriotic event, but an Italian snacks event. So we'll have some Italian snacks and beer. I mean, that sounds terrific to me. I hope that you'll sign up, and we'll be there and try to stay as cool as we can. Beer always helps with that, I think. So please let our team know in wellness if you'll be there by RSVPing by the 26th. Well, wait, that was yesterday. So if you haven't signed up, I'll let you still sign up. I'll tell Louis Al, it's okay. I did want to speak to you most importantly today about our SPLAN Visitor Management Access System. And I want to start off by letting any of you know who were at the training that we did hear your feedback, and we apologize that training did not go as well as we had hoped. Certainly, as you know, our team worked very hard on this pilot program, and I hope that you read my communication that I sent out yesterday. With good intentions, the training did not come out as we had planned, so we've kind of taken a pause, and what we've done is we had a resident focus group come together. I should give you some background before I go into that, really to let you know, because I've heard when we had the resident focus group, these are some of the things that the residents mentioned we might want to make sure we're communicating to everyone. That SPLAN was not just chosen as a convenience for the staff. Really, it was vetted. Joe, I think, is part of that group. Of course, our IT department, our facilities department, Randy Powell, looked at a multitude of different systems out there. SPLAN was chosen because it interfaced with our existing systems, and we thought it was the best solution for us. It will be implemented across all 3 campuses, but we are the pilot program. Because of our size, it made sense for us to try it first. So we went ahead and we made sure that our partners who are utilizing it were trained, and then we started using it on our contractors, vendors first, and then slowly had our team get used to the process at the gate. We talked about the training that we held here. Each day that we had 3 sessions. Each day that we had a session, we did try to improve the next day, but we knew we still fell short. And so for that reason, we had the focus group, and these are some of the results that came out of the focus group. We really talked about making sure that when we have training, we do it in small group settings. It won't be someone standing up here at the podium and walking you through, because everybody was at a different pace. Some people didn't know their password. Some people, had trouble getting on the internet. So we definitely learned a lesson in that we will make sure we just have small group, individualized training moving forward. Also, just providing what you really need, the simplest information, not the whole overview of everything that SPLAN can offer to you. For those that want that information, we can get you that information, but just the basics. And how can you have your guests access Moorings Park at Gray Oaks by utilizing SPLAN and the simplest way possible? When we offer these small training sessions, we will also provide a handout, brief, very brief, that you can utilize when you walk away from the training as well, and hold on to it if you need reminders. So they were some of the results from the focus group. Also, a link will be added to the quick links, which is on the neighborhood website. That link will take you right to the SPLAN login page, so that if you are using your desktop computer, you could get to it that way. We talked a little bit about giving you the simplest information. Most of the residents wanted to use their phone or their handheld device, and so we won't mix that training together. We'll keep training for handheld devices separate from those that may have interest in using their desktop. We think that'll also be a benefit. And then the last thing that we'd like to offer is just drop-in periods, where we'll set time aside a few times each week in the CHL conference room perhaps, or in the conference room here at administration, where anybody can stop in, get a little tip, get some reminders if needed, or more information. And we hope that that will help with your acquaintance of this new program. One of the things that I've also been asked by not only residents in the focus group, but even as I'm talking to each of you at dinner or wherever I may see you, is, what are the goals of this program, Celeste? Is this really just for a convenience for the partners? And I want to assure you that the goals listed here are really for partners and residents hand in hand. We are together in this. When you talk about the safety for residents, it's also safety of the partners, who's coming in and out of our campus. Improving the visitor experience, that could be your grandchild who's visiting, that could be my business partner who's visiting from outside of Moorings Park at Gray Oaks. We want that to be a satisfactory, easy experience for them. We want efficiency. One of the things I heard was, well, this is just to make the gatehouse more efficient. Well, it is to make the gatehouse more efficient. I think you want partners at Moorings Park to be as efficient as possible. I do. We want it, but we also know that we can't do it without your help and the help of the whole team here at Moorings Park at Gray Oaks. So I do ask that you continue to have patience with us. I apologize that it did not go off as we had hoped, but I hope you'll give it a second try. And last, I would just say that certainly as an overall goal for Moorings Park, we always want to be sure that we're maintaining innovation and progress, because if we don't do that, we will not be simply the best, as we really always want to be. On another note, I wanted to introduce you to a new custodian. You may have seen this nice young man working around campus. His name is Johander Fernandez, and he just joined us about a week ago. So when you see him, please welcome him to Moorings Park at Gray Oaks. And now I'm going to turn it over to Ross Dickman.
Thank you, Celeste. Very informative, everyone. Hello. Anybody going to watch the debate tonight? No? I just wonder what would happen if a fight starts tonight. What would they do? Call the chaplain? I think I read somewhere per capita the number of viewers tonight will exceed that of what occurred with Nixon and Kennedy. Probably be the highest number. That's what you call pressure. So it's been a while since I've been over, and good afternoon. It's been a while since I gave you an update on the whole institute, so that's what I aim to do today. I'm going to talk a little bit about Grand Lake. For those who haven't noticed, as you drive down Golden Gate Boulevard, they're rapidly building this monstrous assisted living operation over there. I'm going to talk about your campus. I'm going to talk about the original campus. Tony's going to come on up and say a few words about our elevated dining program that they're working with Restaurant Associates out of New York. And I've got some really good news about our H2B program, which actually we are way ahead of last year. And then I'm going to give you a little update on where we stand with the latest measurements. And I want to tell you, we're going to change Qualtrics in the fall. So, first of all, with Grand Lake, Grand Lake has been a big project for us. When we finish Grand Lake, it'll be a $500 million with a B, $500 million project, 500 million. That project is about 65% complete right now. We tomorrow will close and purchase the last building on the west elevation. It's called Building P, way down there near Airport Pulling. And that is the very last one. And then all the construction and building will be very close to the clubhouse, moving east. In September, we're going to start building this monster called Building E, or Eagle View. And the reason I call it a monster is because we essentially had to create an artificial island. We had to build a seawall, and that seawall, it was something we had to sink big sheet piles 65 feet into the bottom of the lake bed, and it failed. We could not gain any lateral stability. So we had to go out to an expert over in Dubai, of all places, and they essentially determined that we needed to bring in a different type of soil. They brought in that soil, metric tons of soil. They built that up, and they have since driven in all of these sheet piles, and they've created a seawall. That seawall is about 90% complete, and it's quite spectacular. If you haven't been over there, maybe if you've had dinner over there, you've looked out and probably seen this. So that seawall now, we're in the final stages. They're having to put in tie rods so it binds it all together, and when that's finished, they'll do some final grading, fine grading, and then in September, they'll start to build on that. And they'll build a building that is about the size of the clubhouse, about $100 million. It's huge. It's 41 units. Some of those units are 6,000 square foot. They're big. The second floor units start at about $10 million, and they're pricey. It's a big operation. Now, they're not all priced at that level, but that's Building E, and then after that we have A, B, and C. So when that's done, we're done with that project. We should be finished with Grand Lake by early 2026. I'm not saying everything will be sold by 2026, but we should be out of there by 2026. In February, we started assisted living, and it's rapidly moving along. So the assisted living is going to be 3 floors, 70,000 square foot, and a relatively small number of units, 24 units. And we're moving so fast that in mid-February, we were able to start the project and move dirt around. We've already gotten permitted by the county of Collier to pour concrete for the third deck. So by August 15th, we'll have a topping off ceremony, which marks at the point where the final deck is poured, the top deck. So that's moving along pretty good. We'll have a finished assisted living operation over there by November of 2025. Then we have to license it, which takes a while with the state of Florida. So I would anticipate that Moorings Park Institute will have 24 more units fully licensed probably by January of 26. Usually takes about 60 days, maybe a little bit longer, to be able to get that taken care of. Very technologically advanced, a lot of artificial intelligence capability over there in this assisted living, a lot of technology, using cutting edge technology. Then they're also building custom bocce courts over there, which is pretty small ball compared to all this other stuff right there. But that project, the whole community should be done probably in the first quarter of 2026. Moorings Park Gray Oaks. So I don't need to tell you that this room we're in right here is doubling as your dining room right now. And that's temporary, and I know you're probably happy to hear that. So your dining rooms, Vines and 105 are about 60% complete right now, and that's a refresh. So there's been no structural integrity that's been affected in this process. So we haven't moved any structural walls. There's been no major mechanical, electrical, or plumbing systems changed. So this is more aesthetics. Also there's flooring, a lot of flooring, carpeting, and some other hard flooring in certain areas. Certainly window treatments, painting, some tile, glass work, and so forth. Some new furniture, lighting, chandeliers. It will look entirely new, and it will actually look very different than it did before. The bar will take on a whole different look and so forth. I don't want to leave you with the impression that it's going to look very similar. It will not. But I also don't want to leave you with the impression that we went in there and we set charges and we blew the whole thing up, because that's not the type of renovation this is. There are times where we go in and we do a complete demolition of a space. That's usually around the 10, 12-year mark, and that's not the case here. About 60% complete. They're about 20 days ahead of schedule. The thing that probably will eat up more time than we anticipated, but we'll still get it done on time, is the delivery of the furniture, fixtures, and equipment. So new tables, chairs, and some of the other FF&E, as we call it, will be delivered on time, maybe even a little bit later. However, none of that will affect the final delivery date and the opening. So the reopening of the space was always scheduled for October 1st. We'll hit October 1st. We're not going to be delayed. My hope was we'll open it a little sooner, and we might still be able to do that. Your occupancy here is very, very strong. Independent living, you can't get much better than 97.2. Assisted living, we had some struggles in assisted living and memory care over the last 6 to 8 months. We're what I think through the doldrums, and actually just recently 87.4, and actually getting better. So we're right on the cusp of 90%. When you have such a small assisted living and memory care, it doesn't take much to push you from 87 to 85 or 87 to 90, 91% or whatever, but the team is doing a fabulous job up there. I don't know if you've been fully briefed. I suspect you have, but if you haven't, you just had a fabulous survey by the state of Florida, Agency for Healthcare Administration, found you flawless, and you can't get better than perfect. So great job by your team here. On to the original campus. They're also doing restaurant work over there, only this time they're actually doing renovations for their restaurants that are older. Trio is 10 years old, actually going on 11. And then the Center for Healthy Living Bistro over there, we've got a couple over there that very much wanted to rename the Center for Healthy Living Bistro. They wanted to name it in their name as a gift. And so they're completely renovating that, and they're putting their own design spin on it. That will be reopened by October 1st. They're going to use a lot of technology, and that will be done using kiosk machines. That's available to both the residents and also to the staff. Trio will take on a very different look. It had a very dark wood, red, all types of kind of a very dark maroon red look to it, almost like a classic steakhouse appearance. No longer, it's going to have a much lighter, brighter look, very classic. That will open also on October 1st or thereabouts. Outdoor amenities, pickleball, 3 courts will go in over at the original campus. Those will be adjacent to the tennis courts over there. And U.S. Tennis is the company that just won that contract. That's a big contract. And then also croquet, or if I'm a more refined person, I guess I would say wickets. So they'll have a very formal wickets course over there, and pickleball as well. That will start in mid-July to the latter part of July, and that won't be completed until the end of the year, because there's a lot of civil engineering work. There's a lot of potential for flooding out that way. We have to be careful where we move dirt around. Occupancy over at the original campus, again, very strong in independent living and ridiculously high in assisted living. Okay, great story to tell here on our international partners that come in each year. We only started this program 3 years ago. We initially applied to the U.S. State Department, and of course we also work collaboratively with the U.S. Department of Labor. We take on an attorney who specializes in this, and the program was a little rocky the first year. We had never done this before. This is commonplace for hotels and resorts and clubs. And we had to kind of feel our way around the first year. Second year, we actually did much better. And the third year now, we've already pursued the number of associates that we felt we needed, and we've already gotten the candidates and extended offers to them. And so we have our 25 for fall winter season. So we're way ahead, and we feel really good about that. So not only do we better understand the program, but also we have, I dare say we haven't mastered anything, but we're pretty darn close to getting this down to a fine science. We're not going to hire any more people to do housekeeping services because we just don't need housekeepers, but we do hire cooks and dining room servers. And if Mr. Lavodi will come up and talk a little bit about Elevated.
Honored. Tony, Vice President of Dining. I'll go to the next slide. And so, again, very excited about our Elevate program of our servers and bartenders training program that we're doing. We're off to a great start. So we've already had 2 classes, and we have our next class now that'll be next week, July 8th. So we're off to a great start. As a matter of fact, I'd like to introduce to you our new on-site hospitality training manager. Nicole, why don't you stand up for everybody? They'll see you walking around in the restaurant, so you probably may have already seen her already. But she oversees a team of lead servers at every community. And again, she will be doing a lot of this training in partnership with our restaurant associates group that we're partnering with from New York. So they helped us develop this program, helped us train. They come on site with their team and they train our servers and our bartenders, go through a full week of training, and then they go onto the floor with their practical training. So you may have seen that, or you will see that. Again, I like to say, training is, again, a journey that never ends, but this is, again, a great beginning. And then now, with our teams, with Theo and Chris, and the way they'll now work with the teams and with Nicole going forward to continue the training. So this is some training that's not just I don't know, it's not just an oversight, but I mean real learning of wine, real learning of mixology and beverage, real learning of food sauces, food preparations, how to partner with the chef and his culinary team. Again, a lot of the food ingredients that go along with everything, and how restaurant etiquette, of course, is the most important, or one of the most important things that that they're learning too. So we hope that you'll see some, and we know that you've seen some early improvement, but we're looking for that sustained improvement over time. So again, one of the ways that I would like to ask for your help would be through the Resi system. I'll talk about that in a few minutes, but it's vital that we get your comments and you fill out your surveys at the end of each meal. Be as detailed as possible. We want to hear all your comments, because then what we're going to do is then gather those comments, meeting with Celeste, and the food committee. We have a very strong food committee here, and so with the team of Theo, Chris, Chef Dave, and we'll bring those consistencies that we're starting to see, that there may be shortcomings or things that we're doing well and things that we need to do better with, and we'll put actions to those, and in order for you to see immediate improvement. So thank you so much.
Okay, I wanted to share a little bit with you about how we're doing, and really focus on the second operating quarter. So if we can go to the next slide. So we use a couple tools. Tony just talked about Resi, and I want to talk to you about Qualtrics for a moment. But before I go into some of these scores, I wanted to just share with you, in the second quarter of this year, and this happens every year, Qualtrics, which is an international company and a highly, highly respected company, they hold an event out in Salt Lake City, which is where their corporate headquarters is. And they bring people in from all over the world, and they bring in some of the premier corporations that they support for the purpose of benchmarking and conducting engagement surveys. So this year, because this is our third year now, we have partnered with Qualtrics. We sent Carolyn Michaelman. Carolyn is the analyst that supports me in my office and supports our field operations as well. We sent Carolyn out there, and we said, we would very much like you to go on out there and participate in the event and learn as much as you can. And she's been fabulous, by the way. And then come back and share with us what you've learned, because you're in the big leagues now. And so she went out there, and she came back. She gave a presentation to the executive team. And she was sharing with us that I asked who the keynote speaker was, and she says the president and the CEO of Porsche from Germany. And of course, Qualtrics supports Porsche, BMW, Ferrari, Rolls-Royce, and a number of others, Ritz-Carlton, and many, many other top brands in lodging and so forth. And she said that the speech by the president and CEO from Porsche, and she corrected me, by the way, I called it Porsche, and she says, oh no, it's Porsche. And she said, and I said, really? Are you sure? And she said, oh, trust me. She said, it's Porsche. I said, okay. And she said, he was a wonderful speaker, but she said, we were all in the audience in Salt Lake City, and we were expecting this cutting-edge, mind-blowing type of speech from this relatively young president who represents this premier brand. And we were expecting to hear artificial intelligence and these types of phraseology and wordology thrown out there. And she said, here's what he did. He threw some Jim Collins at us. He talked about take care of your people, they'll take care of the customer will take care of your financial needs. But she said the thing that he kept dwelling on over and over and over was the word obsession. And I said, how so? And she said, well, she said, he talked about in America how we have worked diligently over the last 20 plus years on striking a balance in work life, people balance excellence. You know what? Do your job, 5 o'clock, go home, you have a family to take care of, and then, you know, you come home, you get up in the morning, you go to work, and so on and so forth. And she said he had a very different take. You still strike a balance, but that balance never leaves Portia behind. So you take Portia home with you. And Portia is woven into raising your children. Portia's a home as you develop your further education. Portia is with you for your life. And I said, well, Carolyn, that's because he's German. That's German. I said, I'm German. I know that feeling. And she said, well, whatever it is, he talked about how that's critical in customer satisfaction. And that anybody who works for Portia has to be obsessed with resolving customer dissatisfaction, customer concerns, complaints, things that don't go right. You resolve it to their satisfaction no matter what. And I said, it's really fascinating. Would you come to the executive team and with Dan and everybody and kind of share exactly what he went into? So fortunately, she recorded a lot of his speech, and she went into great detail with what he said. Thought it was kind of interesting. Some of this stuff, I think he's right on the mark, particularly in the world that we operate in senior living, and particularly the Moorings Park product line. Particularly when you start using taglines like "simply the best." That's a very dangerous tagline to use, and then not align that with obsession. So I think, you know, we have to try to strike that balance or find that equilibrium, if you will, is how do we promote that obsession but still allow our people to find harmony in their lives. And I think that somewhere in there is a target or the sweet spot. A lot more to follow on that. Anyways, Q2 Institute. Now this right here is a blend of all 3 campuses in each of the venues. And I just want to remind everybody that, again, I know I say this every time I talk about this, but this is based on the Likert scale. So Likert scale is 1 through 5, but we only pay attention to 4s and 5s. Okay, so when you start seeing percentile, like for instance, the first one is 97%, all that simply means is it's 97% of 4s and 5s. So the first one right there would be housekeeping satisfaction among all 3 communities blended together. So, of course, these are fantastic numbers. But what I do want to point out to you is that we're now at the stage after 3 years of this that we're looking at some pretty good trending analysis. And there are some areas that we have opportunity, and we need to pay close attention to that. One of those is security. And on all 3 campuses, we have an opportunity to do better. And I'm going to show you something where if you go back 3 years, you'll see, if we went back 3 years, I'm going to show you the second operating quarter, but I guarantee you that if I went back 3 years and presented it to you today, you would see the same story. That security is really the same picture each time. The other one is we see more of a fluctuation or an oscillation in dining. Dining is generally very strong throughout the organization, comparatively speaking. But we still see some oscillation, if you will, more so probably on the original campus, less here, and certainly less at Grand Lake. I did want to say also at the very bottom, assisted living has just started this about 2-3 months ago. We just brought them into the fold, and also Chateau. And with Chateau, we've even gone as far as bringing in those who are not capable of filling out a survey. So we ask their surrogate, their guardian, whoever is in their stead, who would complete a survey. So it could be a son, a daughter, a spouse, anybody who would fulfill a guardianship role. Okay. The thing we want to be very careful of is, I've talked about this for a long time, is survey fatigue. So one of the things that, since Carolyn came back from Salt Lake City, is she's been doing some analytical review for me, and we are starting to see some survey fatigue among all of our residents throughout the organization. So not terrible. We're just seeing a little slight trend down. But just a slight trend down is a warning. So what we're going to do is we're going to stop these monthly drops to you all, and we're going to go to a quarterly assessment, which is what was recommended by our Qualtrics. They have these little groups of PhDs out there. This is what they do. They think all day long. And so they said, go to a quarterly, and here's what you do. Instead of just dropping one pulse survey with one topic, for instance, in your case, I send you a survey on concierge medicine. In your case, I send you a survey on dining, and then I send you a survey on campus life and so forth. In this case, one quarter, I send you a survey on 6 areas, but they're all short. They're relatively short. And then I don't bother you for another 3 months. And I can still slice that data and gain the information I need from those short surveys without constantly buzzing your phone or sending it to your computer. Because what's happening is I think we're starting to see a little fatigue. And once we get too far down that road, we're going to see people start to hit their delete button, which means we're not going to get that feedback. And that's the part that we don't want to ever get to. They call it the voice of the resident. This is something they monitor very carefully. Even when I talked about this president of Porsche, they watch this very carefully in the automobile industry too. When is enough too much? When do they go out too far? And then all of a sudden, they're not getting the feedback from that person who just bought this new automobile. And that's the kiss of death for them. They have to be very, very careful. So they're working with us to make sure that we don't go too far with you. So now I'm going to just, as I get toward the end here, I'm just going to share with you, and I don't do this to compare one campus against the other, but I want you to just look at these just for a moment and see if you see the same trends that I see. This is just the second operating quarter of 2024. So in this particular case, this is Grand Lake. So, we just look at this, here are 7 different venues. Wellness 91. Again, these are just great scores. 86% campus life, even 82 dining. 89 concierge medicine, 93, 98. But look at where security is. Okay, it's a fish out of water, right? It doesn't even fit. Okay, then you go to, now look at Gray Oaks. Look at this. Total wellness, 100. Concierge, 93. Maintenance, 100. Housekeeping, 100. Campus life, 96. Dining, 92. Look at where security is. Same thing. And I guarantee you, if I went back 3 years, this is the same thing. Now I go to the original campus, okay, and yes, they're a little lower overall in scores, but which is, now dining has always been the Achilles heel over there, okay, but security again is still on the lower end. So I, as the chief operator, we have our challenges with security. To fix security, we have to figure out, what does security mean to you? Is it a lock and key? Is it a perception? Is it a gate guard? What is security? So we've got to figure that out. So you'll be hearing more about this in the future. This right here represents the second set of scores off of the Chateau in the second quarter, by the way. So we've only gotten this data twice now. By the way, you can't read this at the bottom, but I'll read it for you. The first bar graph is, they treat me with dignity and respect. The second one over is, they give me opportunities to express my opinions. Third one, they explain things in a way that I understand. And the last one over there is, they show concern for my comfort. These are impressive. And then the last one is really nothing to do with anything other than feel good. Now, both of those gentlemen tonight up on the stage that are going to possibly be fighting each other, they should both feel good about this. Well, maybe one will feel better than the other, I don't know. We're seeing things come around. The economy is starting to get better, at least for us in Naples. I admit inflation is not over with by any stretch of the imagination. Gasoline is still expensive, groceries are still expensive. But I'll tell you what, we see fewer open positions now than we've seen in a long, long time, both in exempt and non-exempt. We've got our two HR senior professionals in this room right now, and we have a beautiful trending line going downward right now with turnover. And turnover is what kills organizations, so our people are staying with us longer, which is a good thing. The increased number of job applicants is going up, and then the last one right there is we just got back our survey results and why there's always opportunity to improve. And we are always going to see people who will say, pay me more. Overall, their satisfaction at work is very high. So we've got a lot to celebrate here. So I thought I'd just share that with you. That's what's going on in the whole Institute right now. Thank you.
Good afternoon again. Just a couple slides to go, and but wanted to keep everybody in the loop of an exciting project that we have going on for the Institute, and that is our nutritional analysis program that we're doing. This has been piloted at Grand Lake, and it was very successful. We had some great learning that came from it, and then now is going over to original campus starting the middle of July, which I think is July 11th. Is where it'll start in Park Grill. But really what this is that the chef will put the recipes in a program, and then that program will convert it into nutritional analysis. A lot of hard work goes into it. I know I'm saying quickly, but they have to input even the smallest things as far as into the recipes of every single item, everything that they use. And then it'll print out similar to a nutritional kind of label that you're familiar with. So, you know, it again, set the launch at Original Campus, and you know, what we've seen happen is, you know, it will change some of your choices. So you might change some of your opinions. You've seen it out there. There's a couple trendy restaurants that do it on a quarterly basis that have some corporate people up there doing it. We're doing it, you know, with greater frequency, and we do it really within our communities with the chef and his team, and then Theo and Chris, and they'll all put that in. So this nutritional item analysis will be of menu items, and then those menu items, everything will be listed on the neighborhood site, and then also for your convenience, it'll be listed and have available at the host stand. So as we go through the Original Campus, we're starting with Park Grill, and then I think we're going to go to Center for Healthy Living, and then we're going to go to the Clubhouse, and then we're going to go to Trio, and then we're going to come over here. And Celeste and I have talked a lot about the timing and when's the best time to start it over here. So we have a lot of things in mind, and with the reasoning behind that timing, but we think it'll be for the best. So I wanted to keep you in the loop. It's an exciting Institute project that we're doing that will be really here by year end for sure. Okay, and then the last thing I wanted, you know, I mentioned it briefly, but is our Resi. This is really an exciting survey for us because it gives us real-time information. You know, as you dine, then you get sent your survey. If you book your reservation through Resi system, you get it sent, and many of you have seen it already. And then we look for the commentary, we look for the scores, but really we like to see your commentary, you know, down to the details, what you liked and what you thought needed improvement. So again, humbly ask you for your help with this. That will help us provide a service to you so that we can then gather that information, present it to Celeste and then also our great food committee, and then the team again, Theo, Chris, and Chef Dave, so that we can make the right choices for you, really. And we have seen a little bit of adjustment of some of the menu item choices in the places that we've done. So because of this, we always look at what's selling and what's not selling, right? We're trying to be the most efficient for you, so that helps us really provide that information to make the best decisions going forward. But as you can see, overall, as far as the Institute is concerned, overall score 95%. We had 99 responses, and then we had main campus 87%. So you had 548 responses. In Grand Lake, 90%, 224 respondents. So again, thank you so much. Help us with those comments, and we want to just continue to do better for you. So thank you.
Thank you. And I know we're running a little overtime. One thing I wanted to mention in relation to the international partners, because I've heard a lot of questions from all of you, and I know Theo and Chris have as well. Beauty and Brandon will be returning. I was told that, so I know we're all very happy about that. And all signed, sealed, and delivered, so we'll look forward to their return. The other thing Ross mentioned, I have not announced it yet. I would like Emma to come up for a moment. That's okay, Ross, you stole our thunder. But Emma, come on up for a minute. I really want to congratulate Emma. She just had her year anniversary with us as our administrator of Oakstone, and right around that year mark, we did have our Agency for Healthcare Administration survey. It's been over 2 years since we had our last one, and it was an excellent survey. And as you can see, what I noted there is, I think one of the most impressive things is that the surveyors mentioned how they could tell and feel how much our team cares about our residents. So, Emma, would you like to say a few words?
Congratulations. Thank you. Yes, I'm so excited to have had such a successful survey, and the credit really goes to those every single day that are caring for our residents, our CNAs, our nurses, the entire team that makes up the phenomenal care that they provide. And we continue to move forward and look towards the future and what's to come. So thank you.
Thank you. And Kim has the microphone if anyone has any questions today. No questions. Okay, well, I always like that when there's no questions. But before we go, I will ask, I know Ross mentioned our HR team is in the back, and we have Julie and Prinnell. We'll just have you stand up and wave. You don't get to see our HR team very much, but they work extremely hard for our partners, and I hope that they'll come to some of our future meetings and give you some updates as well. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you all.